Nobody panicked when the lights went out. On the observation ring of the interstellar station Helia Prime, power flickers were common. The station sat at the crossroads of 12 alien territories, older than most governments that used it. Systems failed, backup systems argued with each other, and engineers complained loudly in 6 languages. So when the lights dimmed for half a second, nobody reacted. Except Ethan Cole. Ethan wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a diplomat. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He was a human systems analyst, invited as a neutral observer because humans were still considered harmless by most galactic powers. Curious, creative, emotional, useful traits, but not dangerous ones. That was the official opinion. Ethan stood near the outer railing, watching stars slide past the transparent hull. Behind him, the Galactic Stability Core rested on a raised platform, surrounded by a soft blue containment field. The aliens called it the Harmony Engine, an ancient device that calmed aggression across entire star systems. Nobody truly understood how it worked. They only knew one thing: when it was active, wars stopped. Ethan frowned as the lights flickered again, longer this time. A low hum vibrated through the floor, subtle but wrong. His instincts, shaped by years of fixing things that were about to break, kicked in. "That doesn't sound stable," he muttered. A few steps away, Ambassador Lureth of the Varelian Collective turned sharply. Her species was tall and silver-skinned, with eyes like polished glass. She was one of the engine's strongest supporters. "Human," she said sharply, "step away from the core." "I wasn't going toward it," Ethan replied. "I just think your field regulator is." The hum deepened into a sudden thrum. The containment field flickered. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Several alien delegates backed away instantly, fear flashing across faces that rarely showed it. Security drones activated, hovering into position. And that's when the accident happened. The floor beneath Ethan shifted, just slightly. A maintenance panel loosened by years of vibration gave way. He lost his balance and stumbled backward. He didn't fall onto the core. He fell against the edge of the platform. His hand slammed into the blue field. The Harmony Engine reacted. Light exploded outward in a blinding pulse, washing over the chamber like a silent shockwave. Alarms screamed to life. Energy readings spiked off every chart. Ethan cried out and yanked his hand back, heart hammering. "What did you do?" someone shouted. "I didn't, I slipped," Ethan said, staring at his hand. It felt warm. Too warm. The blue field collapsed. And Ambassador Lureth screamed. Not in anger. Not in command. In pain. She dropped to her knees as golden lines ignited across her metallic skin, spreading from her chest outward like living circuitry. The Harmony Engine dimmed, its light flickering unevenly, then surged again, not outward, but inward. Toward her. "No, no," Lureth gasped, clutching her chest. "It's reacting to me." The chamber erupted in chaos. Security drones snapped their weapons toward Ethan instantly. "Human interference detected," a mechanical voice announced. "I didn't mean to touch it," Ethan shouted. "I swear." But no one was listening. The Harmony Engine's light surged one final time, then vanished. Gone. Not destroyed. Gone. Every console in the chamber went dark at once. The silence that followed was worse than the alarms. Lureth collapsed forward, breathing hard. The golden lines across her body slowly faded, except for one, glowing faintly beneath her skin, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. Ethan moved without thinking. He crossed the distance and knelt beside her. "Don't touch her," a delegate screamed. But Ethan ignored them. "Ambassador," he said quietly, "can you hear me?" Her eyes fluttered open. They were no longer glass silver. They glowed faint gold. "It responded," she whispered. "To you, and then to me." "What responded?" Ethan asked. "The engine," she said. "It didn't shut down. It moved." Moved where? Cold understanding crept up Ethan's spine. Security drones descended lower, weapons fully charged. Alien guards poured into the chamber from every entrance. Step away from her, human, Ambassador Kor of the Drath Empire growled. His species stood like armored statues, bred for conquest. You have compromised galactic peace. Ethan slowly stood, placing himself between Lureth and the weapons. I didn't attack anyone, he said. His voice shook, but he didn't back away. Something malfunctioned. We need medical help, not guns. You activated it, Kor snapped. The engine chose her. And that happened because of you. Lureth struggled to sit up. No, she said weakly. It wasn't activation. It was connection. The word echoed strangely through the chamber. What does that mean? Someone demanded. Before she could answer, the station trembled. Far away, beyond the hull, warning lights bloomed across the starfield. Dozens of long-range alerts flooded in simultaneously. Ceasefire zones destabilizing. Suppression fields failing. Border fleets mobilizing. Without the Harmony engine's stabilizing effect, the galaxy was already sliding back toward war. And whatever it had done it through an alien, and because of a human. Every eye turned toward Ethan. For the first time since humanity joined the galactic stage, no one looked at him like he was harmless anymore. Lureth reached out and grabbed his sleeve, her grip surprisingly strong. They will blame you, she whispered. And they will tear me apart to get it back. Ethan swallowed. What is it? He asked. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. The engine, she said. It's not gone. A pulse of gold light flickered beneath her skin. It's inside me. And somewhere deep in Ethan's chest, something answered back, a strange warmth, like an echo. The galaxy had just changed. And humanity was standing at the center of the blame. The chamber did not explode into violence immediately. That was the most frightening part. Weapons stayed raised. Security drones hovered, humming softly like restrained predators. Alien delegates whispered urgently into translators and neural links. Decisions were being made at speeds humans could barely imagine. Ethan felt it before anyone said it out loud. They had already decided who was guilty. Ambassador Kor stepped forward, his armored frame casting a long shadow across the floor. His voice carried the authority of a species that had ruled through force for centuries. The Harmony engine was not stolen, Kor said. It was triggered. And it bonded. Murmurs rippled through the room. Bonded? Someone asked. Lureth winced as another faint pulse of golden light spread beneath her skin. Ethan instinctively steadied her, his hand hovering close without touching. Yes, she said weakly. It integrated. It chose a living host. Several delegates recoiled in horror. That is impossible, hissed Ambassador Vesh of the Karun swarm. The engine is not a tool. It is a relic. Relics don't make choices, Ethan said before he could stop himself. Every eye snapped toward him. Kor's gaze hardened. You will remain silent. Ethan clenched his jaw. His heart pounded, but his mind was strangely clear. This wasn't a courtroom. It was a fear response. And fear made even advanced civilizations stupid. With respect, Ethan said carefully, silencing the only witness who touched the system during failure is a bad idea. A few delegates hesitated. Explain yourself, human, said High Mediator Thalos, an avian-like being whose species specialized in negotiation. Ethan took a slow breath. The Harmony engine didn't overload. It rerouted. When the containment field dropped, it searched for a stabilizing biological pattern. And it found hers, Thalos said, nodding toward Lureth. Yes, Ethan replied. But it reacted to me first. Lureth looked up at him sharply. What do you mean? She asked. When I touched the field, Ethan said, it didn't reject me. It didn't attack me. It responded. Then when you were closest, it completed the transfer. Silence fell again. Kor folded two of his forearms. You suggest coincidence. No, Ethan said. I suggest compatibility. That word hit the room like a shockwave. Humans are not compatible with galactic stabilizers, Kor snarled. You are emotional. Unstable. Primitive. Ethan nodded. Yes. We are. Several aliens blinked, confused by his agreement. And that's exactly why it worked. Loretha's breathing slowed as she listened. The golden glow beneath her skin pulsed gently now, no longer erratic. The engine is ancient, Ethan continued. It was built to suppress aggression. But suppression isn't understanding. It's pressure. Pressure creates peace, Core said. Pressure creates explosions, Ethan replied calmly. Humans learned that the hard way. A few delegates exchanged uneasy looks. Our history is full of systems meant to keep order, Ethan said. They worked, until they didn't. Because they never adapted. Thalos tilted his head. And you believe the engine is adapting? Yes, Ethan said. It didn't fail. It evolved. Core's voice dropped dangerously low. Then it must be extracted. Loreth stiffened. You can't, she said. I can feel it. Removing it would kill me. That may be necessary, Core replied coldly. Ethan felt something snap inside him. No, he said. The word was quiet. But it carried. You don't get to decide that, Ethan continued. Not without understanding what you're destroying. Weapons angled closer. Human, Core warned. You are not in a position to make demands. Ethan straightened. Actually, he said, I am. He turned slowly, letting every species see his face. You all relied on a machine to stop yourselves from killing each other, he said. Now it's gone. Your fleets are already moving. Your ceasefires are collapsing. A data panel flared to life behind Thalos, displaying real-time alerts. Border skirmishes. Broken treaties. First strikes. You can't replace the engine, Ethan said. And you can't remove it without killing the one being keeping it alive. Loreth swallowed. He's right. All eyes turned to her. The engine is aware now, she said softly. It is not a field anymore. It's a process. A process of what? Thalos asked. Of learning, she said. From emotion. From choice. Core barked a harsh laugh. Then it has become a weakness. Ethan shook his head. No. It became human. That word again. Dangerous. Humans don't force peace, Ethan said. We argue. We fail. We adapt. And when we choose peace, it means something. Silence stretched. Thalos stepped forward. What are you proposing? Ethan hesitated. This was the moment. Give us time, he said. Let her live. Let us understand what the engine is becoming. And if we refuse? Core asked. Ethan met his gaze without flinching. Then you won't just lose the engine, he said. You'll lose the only species crazy enough to fix what you broke. Loreth felt another pulse ripple through her body, stronger this time. But instead of pain, there was clarity. They're already afraid, she whispered to Ethan. Not of me. Of what? He murmured. Of you, she said. Of humans. Around them, alarms blared again, different this time. External sensors screamed warnings. Unidentified fleet signatures. Multiple factions. No coordination. The galaxy was falling apart faster than anyone expected. Thalos spread his wings slowly. We are out of time. Core's jaw tightened. Ethan felt the weight of an entire civilization pressing down on him. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a warrior. He was just a human who refused to let fear decide the future. And somehow, that was exactly what the galaxy needed. The first shot of the coming war did not come from a weapon. It came from silence. Across the chamber, dozens of alien delegates suddenly stopped speaking. Their translators went quiet. Their data feeds froze for half a second, then resumed, flooded with one message repeating across every secure channel. Harmony engine status. Unknown. Ethan felt it again. That strange warmth in his chest, stronger now, like a distant echo growing closer. Loreth staggered slightly, and he caught her elbow instinctively. The moment he touched her, the golden light beneath her skin brightened. Several aliens gasped. "She's reacting to him," someone whispered. "No," Loreth said slowly, eyes unfocused. "It's reacting to us." Kor stepped back, unease flickering across his hardened features. "You are contaminating it." Ethan shook his head. "We're communicating." Thalos watched them carefully. "How?" Loreth closed her eyes. When she spoke again, her voice carried a strange calm, layered with something deeper. "It isn't a weapon," she said. "It never was. The engine was designed to feel what civilizations felt: fear, anger, desperation. It suppressed them because that was all it knew." Her hands trembled as another pulse spread through her body. "But humans," she continued, "humans don't suppress fear. You live with it." Ethan swallowed. "We argue with it," he said quietly. "We learn from it." The golden light pulsed brighter. Across the chamber, some delegates felt it, a sudden emotional pressure, like standing near a storm. Memories surfaced. Regrets. Long-buried instincts. "What is happening?" Thalos asked. "The engine is expanding," Loreth said. "Not outward. Inward. It's listening." Kor snarled. "This is manipulation." "No," Ethan replied. "This is honesty." A Karun delegate suddenly cried out and clutched its head. I feel my ancestors," it hissed. "The wars we never ended." Panic rippled. Security drones powered up further. "Stop this," Kor commanded. "Separate them." Guards advanced. Ethan didn't move. He simply placed both hands on Loreth's shoulders. The chamber went still. The golden light flared, not violently, but steadily, like a rising sun. A low vibration filled the air, not sound, but sensation. Everyone felt it. The fear behind anger. The exhaustion behind hatred. The reason wars started, and why they never truly ended. Several delegates dropped their weapons. Thalos's wings trembled. "By the stars, it's showing us ourselves." Kor staggered back a step, clutching his chest. "Make it stop." Ethan looked at him, not with anger, but with something worse. Understanding. "You don't want peace," Ethan said softly. "You want control." The words cut deep. The engine responded instantly. The golden light shifted, projecting faint patterns into the air. Images, memories, emotions. Civilizations rising. Civilizations falling. Endless cycles of suppression, rebellion, collapse. "You built peace on fear," Ethan continued. "And fear always leaks." Loreth opened her eyes fully now. They glowed like molten gold. "It chose me because I was close," she said. "It chose you because you didn't try to dominate it." The chamber shook again, not physically, but emotionally. Outside the station, fleet signatures slowed. Some ships powered down weapons without orders. Confusion spread. "What are you doing to them?" Kor demanded. Ethan shook his head. "Nothing." Loreth finished the thought. "They are choosing." The Karun delegate lowered its mandibles. "We don't want to fight." A Drath officer snarled, then hesitated. "Our warriors feel doubt." Fear flashed across Kor's face, real fear now. "If this spreads," he whispered, "empires will fall." Ethan met his gaze. "Only the ones that deserve to." The station's AI chimed softly. Multiple fleets reporting stand-down conditions. Silence fell. For the first time in centuries, peace was not being forced. It was being felt. Thalos stepped forward slowly. Human Ethan Cole. Ethan stiffened. "You have altered the balance of the galaxy," Thalos said. "Not with weapons. Not with threats. But with truth." Ethan exhaled shakily. "I just didn't want her to die." Loreth smiled faintly. "And that," she said, "is why it worked." The golden light began to dim slightly, stabilizing. But Core was not finished. "This is temporary," he growled. "Emotion fades. Power does not." He turned sharply toward the exit. "Drath forces will withdraw, for now." Ethan watched him go. "That's not over," he murmured. "No," Lureth agreed. "It's just begun." Another pulse surged, gentler this time. Ethan felt it settle inside him, not invading, but connecting. The engine was no longer a device. It was a bridge. And humanity had just become part of its foundation. Outside the viewport, distant stars burned steadily, silent witnesses to a truth the galaxy could no longer ignore. Peace wasn't something you locked in a box. It was something you chose, every single day. And humans were very good at choosing, even when it was hard. The calm did not last. Peace never did. The golden light inside Lureth dimmed to a steady glow, but the tension inside the chamber thickened again, heavier than before. The delegates who had lowered their weapons now looked uncertain, as if waking from a dream they weren't sure they were allowed to remember. Outside the station, fleets had paused, not retreated. Engines idled. Weapons stayed charged. Waiting. Ethan felt the warmth in his chest pulse once, slow and deliberate. The Harmony engine wasn't spreading anymore. It was listening. "They're afraid again," Lureth said quietly. Her voice was steadier now, but her eyes still glowed faintly. "The feeling is fading." Thalos nodded grimly. "Emotion without structure does not hold." Core returned. He moved with renewed confidence, surrounded by armored Drath guards. His earlier fear was buried beneath discipline and doctrine. "This experiment ends now," he said. "We have confirmed that the human influence is destabilizing the balance." Ethan crossed his arms. "You mean people are thinking?" Core ignored him. "Drath Command has authorized containment." The word echoed ominously. Before anyone could react, energy fields snapped into place around Ethan and Lureth, separating them from the rest of the chamber. A low hum vibrated through the floor as suppression tech activated. Lureth gasped, clutching her chest. The golden light flickered wildly. "You're hurting her," Ethan snapped. "We are isolating the variable," Core replied coldly. "You." Ethan felt the warmth inside him strain, like something pulling against invisible restraints. His breath came faster, not panic, but anger. "This won't work," Thalos warned. "You are provoking." "We are restoring order," Core said. The suppression field tightened. Lureth cried out. Ethan's control snapped. "Stop," he shouted. The engine responded. Not with light. With silence. Every suppression field on the station shut down instantly. Weapons powered off. Drones dropped lifelessly to the floor. Consoles went dark, then rebooted, displaying a single shared message across every screen. "Peace cannot be forced." The chamber shook. Core staggered back, shock ripping through his composure. "What did you do?" Ethan stared at his hands, stunned. "I didn't do anything." Lureth lifted her head slowly. The golden light surged again, brighter than ever, but controlled. "It listened," she said. "To intent." Outside the station, something unprecedented happened. Human ships arrived. Not warships. Transport. Science vessels. Diplomacy carriers. They emerged from hyperspace without weapons powered, broadcasting open channels in every known frequency. Thalos's feathers fluffed in disbelief. They came unarmed. Ethan felt his throat tighten. Of course they did. Humanity didn't answer fear with dominance. They answered it with presence. A human voice echoed through the chamber as the station's comms opened automatically. "This is Captain Myra Han of the Terran Coalition," the voice said calmly. "We're not here to take control. We're here to help." Core snarled. "This is an invasion." "No," Ethan said. "This is a conversation." Lureth closed her eyes, focusing. The engine pulsed rhythmically now, syncing not just with Ethan, but with the incoming ships. "They're connecting," she whispered. "Voluntarily." Thalos's voice shook. "They're opening their neural interfaces. willingly. Humans across the fleet were sharing emotions, not commands. Fear, hope, resolve, doubt. Everything the engine had never been allowed to process. Across the galaxy, alien crews felt it again. Not suppression. Empathy. Core fell to one knee, clutching his head. Make it stop. I can feel them. Ethan stepped forward, no longer restrained. That's the point. He looked around the chamber. For centuries, you used a machine to keep yourselves from killing each other, he said. We use something else. What? Thalos asked quietly. Choice. The engine surged once more, not expanding, but stabilizing, embedding itself into a new network. Not one host. Many. Distributed. The ancient device was becoming something entirely new. A shared system, not of control, but consent. Outside, fleets powered down weapons one by one. Treaty channels reopened. The galaxy wasn't peaceful. But it was listening. Core looked up at Ethan, his expression broken. If empires lose fear, they lose power. Ethan nodded. Good. Lureth stepped beside him, standing on her own now. The glow beneath her skin softened, becoming part of her, not consuming her. The engine will remain, she said. But not as a cage. Thalos bowed his head. Then this is no longer a relic. Ethan smiled faintly. It's a responsibility. The station's lights steadied. For the first time in living memory, peace was not enforced by an ancient machine. It was carried by living beings. And humanity had shown the galaxy how. The galaxy did not become peaceful overnight. That was the first thing Ethan understood as the station settled into uneasy quiet. Fleets had powered down weapons, not vanished. Borders were still tense. Old grudges did not dissolve just because something new had been felt. But something irreversible had happened. Fear no longer owned the future. Ethan stood beside the viewport, watching human ships hold position at a respectful distance. No formations. No threats. Just presence. He had never been more proud of his species. They don't know what to do with this, Lureth said softly, standing beside him. Her skin no longer glowed constantly. The golden light appeared only when the engine responded, calm, controlled, alive. She was herself again. Changed, but whole. They've never had peace without chains, Ethan replied. Behind them, the chamber slowly filled again. Delegates returned, quieter now. Less confident. Less certain. And for the first time, willing to listen. Thalos approached, wings folded low. The Emergency Council has reached a decision. Ethan turned. I'm guessing half of them hate it. Only half. Lureth said dryly. Thalos gave a tired smile. The Harmony engine will not be removed. Ethan exhaled. Instead, Thalos continued, it will be redefined. Not as a device. Not as property. But as a shared process. Core stood at the far edge of the chamber, silent. Watching. His empire had lost something today. Control. He had not forgiven that. The engine will remain distributed, Thalos said. Linked to willing participants across species. No coercion. And if someone refuses? Ethan asked. Then they feel nothing, Thalos replied. And they stand alone. That answer carried more weight than any threat. Core finally spoke. Empires will fall. Lureth met his gaze calmly. Empires that rely on fear deserve to. Silence followed. Then something unexpected happened. Core bowed his head. Not deeply. Not fully. But enough. The Drath will withdraw their fleets, he said stiffly. Not because we trust humans, but because we fear what happens if we ignore them. Ethan didn't smile. That wasn't victory. That was honesty. In the days that followed, the galaxy struggled. Some systems embraced the connection. Others rejected it violently. A few tried to replicate the engine and failed catastrophically. The ancient device was not code. It was context. It only worked when people chose to be vulnerable. Humans joined the network slowly, carefully, not because they were perfect, but because they were used to failing and trying again. Ethan returned to Earth months later, not as a hero, but as something more dangerous. A proof. He stood before the Terran Council, exhausted, older somehow. "They'll never trust us completely," a senator said. Ethan nodded. "Good. Blind trust is how you stop thinking." "And if they attack?" another asked. "Then we defend ourselves," Ethan said simply. "But we don't become what they fear." That answer scared them. It should have. Across the stars, children of alien worlds began asking new questions. Not how to conquer humans. Not how to suppress them. But why they worked. Why they didn't dominate when they could. Why they chose connection over control. Why they walked into galactic crises unarmed. The answer spread slowly. Because humans knew something the galaxy had forgotten. Peace was not the absence of conflict. It was the presence of choice. Years later, Lureth stood on a quiet platform orbiting a blue-green world. Ethan joined her, older now, lines etched by time and responsibility. "The engine doesn't speak to me the same way anymore," she said. Ethan smiled. "That means it worked." She looked at him. "Do you regret it? Touching it?" He shook his head. "Best accident of my life." She laughed softly. Far beyond them, stars burned steadily. Not united. Not calm. But no longer asleep. Somewhere out there, a young species was watching humanity and wondering if maybe, just maybe, strength didn't have to mean domination. And that was the most dangerous idea of all. For the first time in galactic history, the future was not controlled by an ancient machine. It was shaped by imperfect beings who refused to stop choosing better. And the galaxy would never underestimate humans again.